So in this video series, we'll take a look at Eightfold Path that was taught by Buddha. And the great thing about Buddha was that his teachings are very simple, straightforward, and easy to understand. There's nothing esoteric about them, right? So it wasn't like you need to attain the enlightenment so that you will be happy kind of thing. Buddha was more like a doctor. He diagnosed this is the problem, this is the issue that you guys are going through, and if you practice this, you can eradicate that issue, right? So this is what the Eightfold Path is. The Buddha's diagnosis was you guys are suffering, you guys are going through some dissatisfaction in the mind, and that dissatisfaction can be removed with this Eightfold Path, right? Very straightforward, very scientific, uh, and very easy to understand, right? So in terms of Eightfold Path, uh, this Eightfold Path is not like again a linear path that you need to walk step by step, first finish the first step, then go to the second step and all that. It's more like very interconnected. So if you work on the one step, you are also working on the other step. So you are kind of working in parallel on all the 8 steps, right? So for example, one step is right understanding, another step is right effort. So your understanding will influence the effort, your effort will influence the understanding, that sort of thing. So it's more like these 8 limbs that we work on them. We can work on them parallelly. We actually work on them parallelly. Yeah. So let's dive into it. Let's see what the Buddha was teaching about this Eightfold Path. Yeah. So in the Eightfold Path, and in this video, we'll take a look at the first step, right, which is the uh, samadhi. This is what he called right understanding. Samadhi. That's the first step, right? Right understanding. And Buddha was very clear. What does he mean by right understanding? He meant the understanding of Four Noble Truth. The understanding of Four Noble Truth. That is what he meant by the right understanding. What are these Four Noble Truths? The first Noble Truth is uh, dukkha jnana, the knowledge, the understanding of dissatisfaction, the understanding of the dissatisfaction of the mind. That is the first noble truth. The second noble truth is dukkha samudaya jnana, which is the arising of this dukkha, the cause of this dukkha. The third is dukkha nirodha jnana, that it is possible to completely eradicate that sort of dissatisfaction. And the fourth is dukkha nirodha patipada jnana, which is like the understanding of the path through which you can eradicate this dissatisfaction, eradicate this dukkha or this dissatisfaction. So let's dive into them deeply. So the first is dukkha jnana, right? The first is the knowledge of dissatisfaction, the understanding of dissatisfaction. Again, Buddha was very clear what does he mean by understanding of dissatisfaction. And he described in more from grosser to subtler form. So first thing he said is this sickness, old age and death is a dukkha, right? This getting older, sick and death is dukkha, very external kind of a dukkha. So one thing is that, and then he says this this mental agonies, right? This different mental defilements like grief, pain, lamentation, that sort of thing is a dukkha, right? So all these different things that we are feeling, it may seems like sometimes it seems like we are the only one who are experiencing this. Maybe something is wrong with us, right? I am the only one who is going through this, all these different anxiety, depression, lamentation, sadness, grief, all these kind of emotions. But the truth is everybody is going through that. And that's what the Buddha was pointing out, that all these different mental arising of different mental defilements are dukkha, right? Are the is the dissatisfaction. Then he goes another step deeper. He says this constant association with the things that we don't want and disassociation with the things that we want is dukkha, right? You're getting disassociated by things that you liked. For example, you may have a close tie with your family and somebody passed away, right? That is dukkha, right? This is subtler. This creates the grief and lamentation and all that, but on the subtler level, this is dukkha, right? That you are getting disassociated with things that you are liking and you keep getting associated. Maybe it's a job that you are doing, a job that you may not like, right? But you have to. So that association with the job is a dukkha, right? So something that you didn't want, you're getting something you want is being taken away from you. That process is dukkha. That process is dissatisfaction. Then he goes another step deeper. He says the craving is dukkha, right? This desire. Some people has a desire for not being sick, but you are getting sick and all that. So this craving is dukkha. This desire is dukkha because your desire is not being met, right? So the experience you are having is dissatisfaction. And then he goes the final step, and then he says this attachment to mind and body is dukkha. This clinging to mind and body is dukkha. He calls them five aggregates. One is body, four part of mind. And he says this attachment to this clinging to mind and body is the root cause of dukkha. Right? That's a little bit more deeper, but that's what he calls dissatisfaction. That's what he meant by dukkha jnana. Right? And this is what he's trying to solve. So this is his diagnosis. This is what is going on, and you can free yourself from all this. Yeah. Okay, so that is the first noble truth. The second noble truth is dukkha samudaya jnana, which is the cause of dukkha. What is the cause of dukkha? Right? How does this dissatisfaction arises? And here he says that this contact of the sense pleasure, right? This contact of, you see something nice, and this is the contact to your this contact is happening to your eyes. That contact actually creates a judgment and a feeling, a sensation in the body, right? And there is this nature of clinging to that sensation, and that craving and clinging is dukkha, is the samudaya, is dukkha samudaya, right? This is the cause of dukkha, not even the cause of dukkha. The word is used, dukkha samudaya, means this is dukkha, right? This craving itself is, you can interchange the word, right? They are synonyms. This craving and this dissatisfaction is the same thing, right? So all these five senses and the sense of the mind, when they contact, when we have contact with them, there is a judgment is happening, and then there is also this sensation that is coming into the body, and there is this tendency to clinging to that sensation, and that clinging is what Buddha is calling dukkha samudaya. This clinging and craving is what Buddha is calling the cause of dissatisfaction, cause of dukkha. So that is the second noble truth, dukkha samudaya jnanam. The third noble truth is dukkha nirodha jnanam, which is that you can eradicate it. It is possible to eradicate this dissatisfaction altogether, right? From the deepest part, from the root level. Yeah. So, and the way he describes it is you have to eradicate at the same place where it is arising, right? So when the sense contact is happening and this sensation is coming, one is it can lead to dukkha, which is dissatisfaction. Another is if you work on there, it can lead to liberation. You can completely forsake this clinging that is happening, right? You can completely get rid of that clinging. It is possible, right? And the fourth noble truth is dukkha nirodha padipada jnanam, which is walking on the Eightfold Path. So what is the Eightfold Path and how do you walk on that, right? So these are the four noble truths that Buddha meant by right understanding, which is the first step of Eightfold Path. In the second step, which is samma sankalpa, which is the right thoughts. So we'll take a look at that in the next video. Yep.